Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us for this 5-minute recap of Chapter 9 of The Awe of God. As you can tell, I'm at a restaurant, so I'm going to whisper, so turn your volume up. All right, Chapter 9 starts off telling the story about the tabernacle that was set up. It was completed. It was constructed according to God's exact plan. And then in Exodus 40, it says, "Then the cloud covered the tabernacle, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses could no longer enter it." So the presence of God is so thick on the tabernacle that there's just a cloud. The glory cloud filled it. All right. And then, fast forward later on, Aaron's 2 sons, who were priests, entered the tabernacle to offer what is considered a profane fire before the Lord, which he did not command. Now, we don't know exactly what happened there, what that means, but profane means to treat something sacred with irreverence, which it means that Aaron's sons came into the presence of God with irreverence. The same tabernacle that was filled with the glory of the Lord in a cloud, they came in with irreverence. What happened? So fire blazed forth from the Lord's presence and burned them up, and they died right there before the Lord. These 2 men, who were authorized to come into God's presence, immediately died because of their irreverence. They erred in becoming too familiar with God's holy and glorious presence, and consequently, they acted in a way that brought disaster on them. Listen to the words of Moses. Straight away this is what Moses said to Aaron after his son's death. "This is what the Lord spoke, saying, by those who come near me, I must be regarded as holy, and before all the people, I must be glorified." All right, let's fast forward to the New Testament. Acts chapter 5. Ananias and Sapphira give a gift to the church. They hold back some of the proceeds. They give a gift pretending that they gave all the money from the land, but they held some back, which was their right to do. But they wanted to look better in the eyes of the people, so they lied about how much they sold the land for. And if you know the story of Ananias and Sapphira, they fell over dead because of that. So we see in the Old Testament tabernacle, an irreverence caused the death of these 2 sons. Here, Ananias and Sapphira have the same fate. They fall over dead. So a great fear came upon all the church and upon all those who heard these things. A great fear came upon, it doesn't say the city, came upon the church. All right, that's interesting. And then we also have the story of Aaron's sons, Hophni and Phinehas. Let's go back to the Old Testament. Hophni and Phinehas were committing adultery. They were priests as well, and they're committing adultery with women who assembled at the door of the tabernacle, less than 90 feet from where Aaron's sons had died. They're doing some pretty grievous things. Their behavior was extremely offensive to God, more than the irreverence of Aaron's sons. Yet these men did not instantly die the same way. Why not? Well, the answer is found in these words. This is from 1 Samuel 3. "The word of the Lord was rare in those days. There was no widespread revelation," which means the lack of God's revealed word speaks to the absence of his presence. Okay? What this all means is the greater God's manifest glory, the greater and swifter the judgment of irreverence. Okay? Aaron's sons were too casual before God. Aaron's sons were committing, Eli's sons, Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are committing grievous things. One of them is being too irreverent. One of them is just outright doing awful things. And they both paid a huge price for it. They didn't respect the awe and majesty of God. And the same is true for what happened in the New Testament with Ananias and Sapphira. Where God's presence is, there needs to be an awe. Eli's sons, they got away with it for a while because there was less of God's presence in those days. So if we want to see God's presence, we need to have a reverence and an awe. And when there is a lack of God's presence, there's not a swift judgment. Okay? So if we want to see God's presence, we need to have an awe. All right, that's it. Thanks so much. Take care. God bless. Bye.